Top 7 raised vegetable beds with drip irrigation. Have you ever wondered why more and more gardens in Europe are switching from planting directly in the ground to raised vegetable beds? It's not just for aesthetics, but for the ability to completely control the growing environment, from soil and moisture to nutrients. However, what truly sets this system apart isn't the wooden frame or the external shape, but the drip irrigation system integrated from the start. Many people start with excitement. They build beautiful-looking vegetable beds, but forget the most critical factor: water. Then, after just a few weeks, they realize that manual watering every day becomes a burden, especially in the summer when temperatures soar. Have you ever experienced the feeling of having to rush out to the garden every evening just to save wilting plants? That's when a simple drip system can change everything. It not only saves water, but ensures each plant receives a steady amount, not too much and not too little, something manual watering can hardly achieve. But the important question is, are you designing your garden to last or just to experiment for a few weeks? The difference between a successful garden and an abandoned project often lies in seemingly tiny details like this. Top 6. One good overhead structure. There is one thing many people don't realize until they actually spend time outdoors. A garden without an overhead structure almost never reaches its full potential. You can have nice chairs, a good table, and perfect greenery, but without shade or a sense of enclosure, you won't want to stay for long. That's why an overhead structure like a pergola or a solid roof can completely transform the experience. It turns an empty patio into a clearly defined space, much like an outdoor room. But the problem is that many people choose temporary solutions, lightweight, quick assembly frames that aren't durable enough to withstand harsh weather. After a few rainy and windy seasons, they start to wobble, lose stability, and eventually get discarded. So, are you investing in something that will last for years or just a short-term item? A good structure isn't just a place for shade, it's a foundation for adding lighting, hanging climbing plants, and building a true outdoor living space. And once you have a place like that, you'll start wondering why you didn't do it sooner. Top 5 naturalistic planting. For years, gardens were seen as places where humans controlled nature. Everything had to be tidy, perfectly pruned, and follow clear straight lines. But now a completely different trend is taking over. Naturalistic planting, where the garden is no longer forced but becomes a living ecosystem. You can see tall grasses swaying in the breeze and flowers blooming out of alignment, yet creating their own rhythm. Interestingly, when designed correctly, this style requires less maintenance, less water, and is more sustainable over time. But the biggest mistake people make is thinking that random planting will achieve that effect. In reality, behind the natural look is always a carefully calculated structure with repetitions of certain species to create connection and balance. So, are you creating a garden with a story or just a chaotic collection of plants? And can your garden change with the seasons while still maintaining its beauty? Top 4 layered landscape lighting. When the sun sets, most gardens seem to disappear, no matter how beautiful they are during the day. This is because lighting is often overlooked during the design process. Many people only install a few basic lights to illuminate walkways without realizing how powerful light can be in creating emotion. A layered lighting system can turn a garden into a completely different space at night. Low-level lighting helps with orientation and safety. Mid-level lighting creates depth and highlights architectural elements or trees. And higher-level lighting brings a warm atmosphere. But the most important thing is balance. If the light is too strong, you ruin the feeling of relaxation. If it's too weak, the space becomes useless. Are you taking advantage of your garden at night or only using it half the day? And if you could turn it into a place you actually want to stay after dark, how would everything change? Top 3, a fire feature done properly. Fire always has a very special draw. It makes people stop, sit closer together, and creates moments that nothing can replace. That's why fire elements are increasingly appearing in modern gardens. But what matters isn't just having one, but how you do it. Many people choose large, fixed fire pits without thinking about wind direction or practical use. As a result, smoke blows directly into the seating area, making the experience unpleasant, or the structure takes up too much space and cannot be moved. So, are you designing for use or just for looks? A more flexible solution like a portable fire bowl can provide the same cozy feeling while allowing you to adjust the position depending on the situation. And when you understand how wind moves through your garden, you'll realize that a small detail can make a massive difference. Top 2 native and climate-adapted planting. When it comes to building a sustainable garden, nothing is more important than choosing the right plants from the start. Native and climate-adapted plants don't just survive, they thrive without much intervention. They are accustomed to the rainfall, temperature, and soil conditions of the area. This means you save water, reduce costs, and avoid many risks. Yet many people are still drawn to beautiful exotic plants without realizing they require high maintenance. Are you trying to maintain a garden that fights against nature? Or are you working with it? When you choose the right plants, the garden almost runs itself, and you no longer have to worry every time the weather changes. It's not just a smart choice, it's a way to create a living space in harmony with the environment. Top 1 seamless indoor-outdoor connection. Finally, there's an element many people only realize once everything is finished: the connection between the inside and the outside. A garden, no matter how beautiful, loses value if it's not linked to the living space inside the home. Many designs are carried out as separate projects, and when you step outside, you feel like you're entering a different world. But when everything is seamlessly connected, the garden becomes a natural extension of the house. Materials, colors, and layouts blend together, and most importantly, the view from inside. Have you ever stood in your living room and looked out at your garden? That's the scene you will see every day. And if it's designed correctly, it can completely change how you feel about your living space. So, are you building a garden to look at or to actually live in?